Let's write the root drish so that we can write the word drishti, which means the sort of way of seeing in practice, the gaze method. So we have da, we're going to write da, except it's not da, it's dr. So we have the vowel r, and we're going to indicate that by a little hook underneath. So we have dr, and then this is going to be sha. Except it's not sha, it's sh. So, sh. So, drisha is that's how drisha would be written, but we're going to take off that last vowel by this little mark here. So it's drish, drish, and that's the root for drishti. Now, when we're creating the word drishti, we're going to start with the same beginning. So we have dr, except now we're going to encounter some obstacles. Not obstacles. We're going to encounter some changes. So this sha is going to change to this sha and this ta. So, oh, and because it's drishti, we have to actually start with the staff that's going to indicate the E sound at the end. So I'm going to start with that staff, then I'm going to write half of this sha, then I'm going to connect it to the ta, then I'm going to flag it. So we have drishti. That's the E sound. And we're going to add a little aspiration. Drshti can be a little bit of a challenging word for some of us to pronounce because it's so cerebral. It's so in the center of the mouth. This ra, this sha, this ta are all up. So think of really keeping the tongue back and up. Drshti, drshti. Yeah. And so drishti, it means the faculty of seeing or the ability to see or the technique of seeing in the yoga context. It also means seeing with the mental eye, right? It's a metaphor as well for knowing, for wisdom. And we use that sometimes in English too. Sometimes we speak about knowing or wisdom being, insight, for example, right? We use that sort of as connected to knowing and seeing. And even a lot of ancient traditions, I'm thinking in particular of the ancient Greek writings, but also in ancient Sanskrit writings, there are often people or beings or sages that are physically blind, but that have the power of sight with something other than the physical eye. Often they have, foresight. Maybe they can see events into the future. Maybe they have insight, the ability to see attributes, character, values in themselves and others that others can't readily see with the physical eyes. Maybe they have the ability to see the sort of whole how things are going to unfold, right? Oftentimes when we're in the midst of a difficult circumstance, it can be hard to keep that way of seeing, right? That whole picture way of seeing, because we don't have the benefit of sort of seeing how the sequence is going to unfold.